So we want to welcome Jeff to this next Facebook Live. And the other ones I started out with, all right, we want to, and she's like,
you can't say that every
we
time.
can't say that anymore. So we started out with a well.
So Jeff Griffin, we've known him for a couple of years now, but the funny thing is his wife actually worked for me about 20 something years ago. And I just put the connection a couple of weeks ago that was the case. So it's kind of funny, but Jeff is one of our speakers. He's actually going to start off our conference on Friday. And there's a really important reason why I wanted him to start off the conference. Jeff travels the world, right? You go all over the world speaking. I don't know if they like to use motivational speaker, that kind of term anymore, but that's kind of what he does. But he's had his own health challenges that are more physical in nature. And a lot of the people that come to the conference have a lot of health challenges, and he's really overcome. So I thought that would be a really great way to start off the conference. So Jeff, welcome to our little Facebook Live, and tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on here. And I do want to reiterate, and I'll probably share this again there, that there's power in organized efforts. And so thank you for putting this together. And those who are watching right now or listening, who may or may not be coming, I would encourage you to come. There is power in organized effort. There's power in synergy. There's power in just being around other people. And if you're struggling, this is a perfect place to come. And so, yeah, as was mentioned, I like to say that I'm the greatest speaker you have never heard of yet. I've had some people compare me to Tony Robbins at the fraction of the price. Others have said, Griff, you're the David Goggins without the mouth. And others are like, you're inspirational, like John Maxwell. And I like to look at them and just saying, you know what, those are great. That's great company to be in, but I'm just me. And the way I perceive myself is just an ordinary man doing ordinary things a little extra.
There you go. I like that.
And that's key, I believe. And so yeah, I go around the world and I speak. And whenever I come out on the stage, I like to address the elephant in the room. How good looking I am.
Of course.
With beard and everything we were just talking about.
No, absolutely. The beard, absolutely. Eyes up here, you guys. Eyes up here. But yeah, so I go around, and I am physically paralyzed, but I believe most of us, if not all of us, are paralyzed from the demons of doubt, fear, and complacency. And so, this is Be Healthy Utah. And one thing I've learned in this beautiful journey called life is that 100% of what we do is mental. And our health, our physical health, affects our mental health, and our mental health affects our physical health. And so it's like, what comes first? But I believe that 100% of what we do is mental. And so that's what I get to do, is I get to go around and I get to help people with their mental paralysis.
Crazy. So just tell a little story about how you became paralyzed. Just a quick little story there.
In fact, what I want to do here is I'm going to let people know that if you want to know about that, you're going to have to come to the conference, because I am going to share.
That is true.
I'm not like, if you want to know about that, come to the conference. But I do want to share with you what happened in 2019.
Okay.
Just to kind of perhaps maybe motivate or inspire your listeners to come if they're on the fence. And by the way, Shane, I like to, some people call me a motivational speaker. I like to think of myself as a transformational speaker.
Okay.
Griffin motivation, transformational message, life-altering experience.
There you go.
We're going to transform your life. We're going to give you a life-altering experience, and we're going to move the needle. And then everyone else is just going to come in, and it's just going to be just like a beautiful, beautiful experience that happens. And so, but in 2019, I was invited to come to Sweden to the 8th World Congress on Mind Training and Excellence in Sports. Lars Erik Unestal is the president of the psychology department there at the University of Obrero in Sweden. I probably didn't pronounce it right, so you Swedes, forgive me. But Lars Erik Unestal has been doing this for 40 years. He has been the pioneer. He was doing mind training and other things before Tony Robbins was on the stage, Simon Sinek. He even partnered up with Charles Garfield here in the United States. If you don't know who Charles Garfield is, Charles Garfield coined the phrase peak performance. Charles Garfield, worked with the Apollo project here in the United States. And him and Lars partnered up and had done some work for a while. And so Lars, Eric, invited me to come to Sweden. I was going to go do a workshop, and then one of the keynotes dropped out. And so he's like, will you keynote for us for 30 minutes? And I'm like,
you're like, yeah, twist.
I'm like, I don't know. Maybe so, sure. The gentleman in front of me took 5 of my minutes. And so when I had an opportunity to share, after the second standing ovation, I was telling the people in the audience to sit down because we still had more things to give. Now, there were people there, Formula race car drivers, premier soccer coaches, gold medalists, professors who had a bunch of titles in front of their name and had done tons of research and other things as well. They had some doctors there. There was even a Nobel nominee individual there who was there. And there were Michel Gagny from the Canadian Olympic. He was the Canadian Olympic mind trainer there. And then Malaysia hired him as well. And Malaysia received their first gold medal in 2016 because of his help. The reason why I share this with you is at the end of my speech, I had my arm around Lars Erik, and Lars Erik turns to me and says, Jeff, thank you so much for showing us in 25 minutes what we've been trying to teach these last 40 years.
Oh.
And so
Nice
you guys who are coming to this conference will be able to receive all sorts of instruction. And I'm excited just to be a small little part. And what you two are doing is just amazing. And so thank you again for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this effort that's happening.
Well, Jeff, it's like you're the real deal. You're just very down to earth and compassionate, and just, just to feel like you're a great friend to so many. And maybe it's because the experiences you've been through that have humbled you to be able to be that kind of person. But we're blessed because of that, and we're blessed to be able to have you at the conference.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. If you ask my sister-in-law, she would, she did tell her sister one time, she's like, you'd think, falling 40 feet and being in a wheelchair.
Hey, you're not supposed to tell the story. Come on.
I'm not telling you. But what was funny is she's like, you'd think that being paralyzed, that, it would humble a man a little bit. And so some people don't think I'm that humble. I'm trying to be. I really am. Like I said, I am just an ordinary guy, an under ordinary guy doing ordinary things just a little extra. And we've got some tips and things that that we're going to share. But if you don't mind, I have one thing that I'd love to share.
Oh, we would love that. We'd love that.
A free little thing here. And so is that okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And so those who are listening and watching, if you guys text the word possible to 801-816, I got to make sure that that's the right number. I don't ever call this. This is my business number.
That's because it's on speed dial. We never know any numbers anymore, right? It's just
smartphones have made me stupid.
I know.
Yes. So I was on the right track. So if you text the word possible at 801-316-8689, I will send you a free, what I call the possibility principle. It's how to develop a P-squared mindset. Mm-hmm. Because there are people out there like, well, you know what? Yeah, that's great for you. That's great for you. Other people, that's great for, and they have all these excuses and reasons why they can't do it, but, or they don't want to. But a lot of people are like, Griff, were you always this optimistic and this positive? And the answer was no, not at all. Some people will ask my wife all the time. They're like, is he this positive all the time? And she's like, ever since I've met him, yes. And sometimes she tells me to bring it down a little bit, and I'm like, we'll bring it up a little bit, and that's not smart.
Especially when you come home and she's been with the kids all day. Yeah, that's probably not the best move.
You know what, though? I think we've had that conversation in our family, but it's the opposite. I'm the one that's the positive, and he's like, you have to think, logical. And I'm like, no, everything's possible.
Amen. I love it. Absolutely. And so
well, you have your book too, right? Isn't it I'm Possible for impossible, but you put I'm Possible, right?
Yeah. So like right behind me, you can see them. That one right there is called I'm Possible. Mm-hmm. Desire, Dream, Do. And then the other book I have is called Endless Possibilities, the 90-day recipe for world record results.
Oh, nice.
And so
now the I'm Possible, did that just barely come out? Was that just that new?
So the Endless Possibility has just come out. The I'm Possible, I printed it in 2015, and so we're now within our third print, and I love it because I got a D- in 6th grade in English. My high school English teacher told me I'd never write a comprehensive sentence, and then all that was validated my freshman English. My freshman English class, the first day of class when you go in there and write a paragraph. The second day, they called 6 of us out of the 300 to come to the back. My name was called. I go bounding to the back and I'm like, hey, what did I win? And they're like, you won a date with the remedial English teacher. And I'm like, well, what does that mean?
You're now in resource.
And they're like, well, that's why you need it. And so, so after the Paralympics, in 2004, I'm like, how did I get here? How was I able to do these things that were deemed impossible? And so I had a chance to sift through my broken back and shattered dreams and came up with some, identified some flecks of gold that I gathered together, forged, fired, and developed into some gold nuggets, 10 steps that world record leaders follow and finish with exactness. And the book took me 3 months to write, but it took me 10 years to gain the confidence to get over
put it
that
out there. Oh, I know. And that's what a lot of this is, that we all want to be healthy. We all want to live, there's parts of our lives that we do want to change, but it's just building that, realizing that you can do that. And once we realize that we can, it's so much easier. But that self-doubt and those things, that just the impossible, like all that stuff, it just weighs us down so much that we really start believing that.
Well, it's that the sad thing is in the health model, unfortunately, a lot of people, get told by the medical doctor, hey, this is just what you have. It sucks. So just take these pills and this is your life. Yeah. And they think that's what it is. And it's not a reality. It's not a reality at all. I totally changed my practice because my dad got his toes chopped off from peripheral neuropathy because he had been told forever that there was nothing to be done. So I went on a quest to try to figure it out. And now we're helping people with that. Things can be done. This is kind of an interesting question for you. So being paralyzed, what kind of health challenges does that do for you as an individual? Are there things that are just different for you on a health in terms of health because of that?
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry, this is a loaded question because I hadn't talked about this with you or anything, but it's just like, I bet there's some things being paralyzed, mostly in a chair. Are there just things that are health-wise that are their issue?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, what's interesting, most people, who come up and talk to me like, what's the worst thing about being in a wheelchair? Is it because you can't walk? And the issues that we deal with, most people wouldn't want to hear about it, and it would cause them to turn green and be embarrassed or whatnot. But for individuals who are in wheelchairs, the number one challenge is bowel and bladder. And you guys know that the gut.
Well, we are a natural health conference. There's gonna be a lot of stuff talked about bowels. So we're good here.
There you go. And so, but that's the number one issue. That's the number one challenge, and people don't want to talk about that. And so if you just imagine from the waist down or wherever it is that you're paralyzed, I got some buddies who are paralyzed from the chest down, and things just don't work and function. And being sedentary and being, in a chair all day long, that's been one of the toughest things for me. But I've been in a chair 27 plus years. And over these years, I have been able to get to the point where I'm able to have a schedule, a bowel and bladder schedule, to where, I don't have these major issues that a lot of my friends in chairs do. And there's some able-bodied people who have worse issues with their bowels than I do. and it shouldn't be that way.
Mhm.
But the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that there's always a way in my mind. We always spend all the time focusing on the challenge and the problem, and we don't spend enough time and energy on the solution. And so over these years, I've decided that I'm going to focus on what I can do instead of what I can't do.
Mhm.
And so for me, kind of like you, Shane, is that you're like, I'm going to figure out a way to resolve this issue instead of this the pattern that we use right now. And so there's ways to do that. So yeah, it's been 27 years, and so I've got to eat healthy. I've got to stay in shape. Age is catching up to me, and my poor eating habits. Eating on the road and in airports and whatnot. My gut is the number one issue that I am dealing with right now, is getting that taken care of. And so
you're going to enjoy learning a lot of stuff at the conference as well.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. I know there's a solution out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that is the key right there, is that if you have to have that drive, or just knowing that there is an answer. Because a lot of times people look and then they give up because they didn't find it. But if you have that drive within you, knowing that, you know what, I know that I'm going to find an answer, then you keep on going and you keep on going and you keep on going. And you know what, it might be a totally different answer than what you thought you were going to get in the very beginning anyways. But in the process, look how much you've learned, and look how much different you are because of it.
Well, look at just some of the experiences. So some of the experiences that you've had, that, like, say, I wouldn't be able to have because I'm not in a wheelchair. I mean, you were on the Olympic team. Were you on the basketball, the Olympic team, or are you just the jazz team?
Paralympic basketball team, 2004. Yeah.
And then you do something with the jazz too, right?
So each NBA team has a wheelchair basketball team as well. Been to 4. I've been to 8 MVP all-star events. Was MVP 4 times out of the 8.
Nice.
I have 2 Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah, so was involved.
Mm-hmm. And you enjoyed athletics as a kid, and that was just one of the things that you thought was taken away from you, but then didn't because of overcoming stuff. So that's just the cool story. That's honestly why I wanted you to kind of be our leadoff speaker and to kind of start that way, because there are so many people coming that feel a loss of hope, feel that they feel alone. They feel, they've been struggling with certain things for so long, and you've overcome the things that you've been dealt with you. But like you said, there's still things that are just part of it. I just have to find solutions for it. Right. And that's what we need. That's what the whole conference is for. We try to create that platform so people can come and just learn and for themselves things that they can do on their own on how to get and stay well.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that the listeners understand that I am not comparing my pain and my challenges with yours.
Right. Everyone's different.
All pain hurts, no matter the size. Yeah. And so, that's what I believe is this conference is an opportunity to find solutions, to come together and find solutions.
That's so true.
With Jeff, he has a coupon code. It's Jeff30. If for all of his followers, they can just go to the website, and for the 2-day conference, they get in for $30 if they use Jeff30, which is an unbelievable opportunity to be able to come and to listen.
Because most people that come to listen to Jeff are paying $1,000 a plate, right?
It's up there. We absolutely. It all depends on which one we go to, but right. Yeah. I hope and that there's 30 people that show up that use this code. 30 for 30.
I hope so too. Yeah. And please, for yourself, continue to share stuff on social media, because I know you have a big following, so that's always nice. It's just about getting the word out, right? That's the biggest thing. We've got an incredible event. Now we just need to get people there so that they don't miss out on it. So
Absolutely.
thanks so much for coming out. And this was just a quick call. We had a reschedule on another 1 o'clock. And so I just called Jeff, said, "Hey, are you good?" He's like, "Yeah, give me a couple minutes."
So
and
this is Jeff in the raw. This is Jeff in the raw. This is really how he is.
Right after a workout. So there you go.
There you go. Hey, thanks so much, Jeff. Appreciate you being on. And you will be able to see Jeff on Friday afternoon.
Thank you.